Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. And today's upload is a subscriber interview where he shares and relives his horrific experiences that he had while in the military and at war. Before we get into it, a couple links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support the channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It doesn't cost a cent. Click the like button. It takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads that I put out daily, click that bell icon. And folks, please leave a comment and share the video. Why? Well, because all these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. They are appreciated and they do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump into today's upload, shall we? Lewis, how are you?
Doing great, Jeff. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming back and reaching out to me and letting me know that you had a couple other things that you wanted to share with us.
Okay.
For those of you guys who didn't hear, Lewis was in Iraq and he saw what we can only call a Chimera. And I'll turn the mic over to you and let you share what you want to share with us today. If you don't want to talk about the Iraq incident, you don't have to. You've had a couple other incidences, one with a possession and something that you saw in California as well. But this is Lewis, and the mic is yours, my friend.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start with the possession. I guess that would be the first thing because that's chronologically first. Actually, there's some other things first. Like I was a sickly kid when I was first born. It was a couple of weeks after I was born. I had bronchial pneumonia, and not many kids survive that. Well, especially not in the 70s. He went from there. I guess growing up, I grew up partially in Costa Rica, partially in California, just back and forth. When we lived in, this is the one of the ghost stories things that happened. I was still young, maybe about six years old. We lived in Hawthorne, California. I'm sure everybody knows. Well, most of the people know. It's close to the airport, LAX. And we lived there. It was a small 2 or 3 bedroom house. Can't remember off the top of my head. I was still young. And my mom had an issue that this thing, it was like a dwarf type thing. Used to appear and had like a little light, like a candle, like it was holding a candle. Almost like if you think about it, it sounds like, oh, she saw an angel. No, senor. Not an angel at all. This thing used to tell her that everybody hated her and that pretty much they really wanted to kill her, right? Mm-hmm. So just driving her up the wall crazy. Okay? And after a few times that she saw it, she told my dad that she kept seeing this thing. And it sounds like a priest to go bless the house. And so they called the priest. Nothing was working with the priest because the stuff was still coming. They blessed the house. Nothing was happening. And then they went and asked one of those like a shaman type person, that work in different stuff, different type of like witchcraft stuff, and they tell you about ghosts and things like that. I can't remember their name off the top of my head, but yeah, he told them that they had to do this thing where they had to put like salt around the house, holy water, and a bunch of stuff, but she could not do it. Like my mom could not do it, and especially not the kids, right? And there were times where we didn't spend time at home because of this thing that kept appearing to her. So my dad told her that, okay, he was going to work, and he would do it like the following day. But you know how women are. They just want the stuff done now. So she went ahead and did it, right?
Yeah.
Well, they beat the living crap out of this woman. I mean, she had scratches on her back, bruises all over her face. When we came back from school, we thought, well, shit, my dad probably beat her up or something. And my dad came home, and he was as shocked as we were. Like, so what happened? And, yeah, this entity, I guess, didn't like that she was doing that, so beat the living shit out of her. I know it sounds cruel. It's my mom, so I'm sorry.
No,
but, yeah, that happened. And, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, no, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, so then my dad went ahead and did it. The stuff went away for a while. And then we started getting, like, this mold. It was this creepy mold. It was weird because it was like around, I can't really determine the height of it, but it was, like, around my mom's shoulders, maybe less. It was like this mold that just came from the bottom all the way up to just that level, all around the house, like instantly. It wasn't like, oh, you know how mold grows, like gradually?
Yeah.
The stuff will start coming out. No, this stuff was like overnight, boom, the shit's on the wall. And they're like, what? And the stuff started happening again. This thing wasn't happy. And he like wanted her to pretty much kill us all in the middle of the night.
Wow.
So my dad woke up one day because she awoke. Oh, I don't know if she was awake. She was more like in a trance. She got up, went to the kitchen, and grabbed the kitchen knife. So he stopped her. Then we moved. Lickety split. Like really quick, we moved away from that house because, you know, who'd want to live like that, right?
Right.
And my dad didn't really believe in this stuff. He doesn't. Not only he believes in some stuff, but he's more like a ancient aliens type of guy. So, so yeah, that was the first one. Now I'm gonna fast forward to my teenage years. There was a house back in Costa Rica where supposedly there are like demon apparitions and stuff like that. It's in San Jose, by the way, the capital. That's where I'm from. And this thing, I guess it was like a ghost house, right?
Okay.
Apparitions, lights turned on and off, real crazy stuff, right? It was like this 3-story house. It's got like one of these small gates, you know, with the spikes on them.
Yeah.
And we used to just play around there, and a friend of mine used to live there, and it was always creepy. But you know, we used to get invited home, and the lights will turn off and off. And one time, his brother, my friend's brother, said something about, "Damn these lights," and the light exploded.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? I hear my grandma calling. I wanted to leave, so I left. And there was issues about him getting in a fight with some weird entity, ghost-like thing. Beat the crap out of him. They left the house. They moved out. And the house was there empty for a while. I mean, these are like early teenage years. I was about 13-ish when they left. About 14, 15. Nobody lived there. My dumbass. At 13, that's when it happened. I was playing cops and robbers on the gate of the house, and you tie like a rope and you jump over the little gate thing, right? And all the kids went through. I'm coming up next. I get up on the fence and I feel somebody push me. There's nobody behind me. I'm the last one. Because, I was the tallest one. So I'm the last one. Somebody pushed me. The rope breaks and I get impaled on this fence. So, yeah, trippy stuff, Jeff. Trippy stuff. And I go to the hospital. I was there for about 3 months. I had an internal bleeding. I perforated my intestines. The only thing that pretty much saved me was the belt, because it was a leather belt, and it jammed up, and it only allowed about 3 inches of the spike to go through. Wow. And everybody was gone. I was hanging there, just hanging, like arms dangling, legs dangling, and everybody left, and they left me there, and I thought I was going to die. But I don't know. I get a fighting spirit, I guess. I push myself off the spike, and then I had to walk about a block to my grandmother's house, and nobody did anything. They thought I was just joking around. I told them, no, my stomach hurts, and they were watching The Love Boat. Everybody's laughing. My brother had this funny particular laugh that makes you want to laugh. So I tried laughing, and I couldn't laugh. I started crying. My uncle checked me. He saw the perforation. He said, "Why did you tell me you got hurt?" I told you I got hurt. And then they took me to the hospital. About 3 months, came back out. 2 years later, this was my screw up, Jeff. I mean, big time. I used to play soccer back in Costa Rica, and I was part of a team. And my mom had left. We had moved because my mom wanted to have her own place. She didn't want us with our grandmother. Mm-hmm. So we moved with her. It was a small 1-bedroom apartment. It was just my mother, myself, and my 2 brothers. And my mom had left because she was going to this, they had like a soccer tournament for some team. It was like 3rd division, whatever it is. Soccer is big in Costa Rica. I don't know why. But she was doing her thing. I was playing in my soccer team. And the kids asked me, like, "Hey, we found a Ouija board." Mm. And I was like, okay. And I already knew this history with my mom and, weird things. And I was like, "Nah, man, I don't know what you're telling me. I'm not playing that." It's like, "No, you don't have to play. We just need to borrow your apartment so we can play it. I mean, you can join us, but it's just going to be us." And I told them, "No, I'd rather not do that." And, finally they convinced me, and I was like, "Well, if you do it like really quick and leave, make sure you take everything with you." All right, cool. So they night comes, they come over. They're doing the Ouija thing. They invite me in, get in a circle. Everybody holds hands. They got candles on, and one kid's doing the Ouija thing. And I was like, "Man, this is full of crap. This guy's pushing the damn thing by himself." Right. So I'm not buying it, right? And I was like, "You know what, guys? I'm out. I'm gonna just sit here. You guys have about 10, 20 more minutes. Do whatever you want to do, and get out, right?" So they're like, "Okay. Well, let's concentrate and this and that." And then they're like, Who do we call? They talked about calling Elvis. They talked about calling a bunch of people. It was like a bunch of people. And one guy said, "Well, let's call the devil." And I was like, "You ain't calling shit in this house." You're not calling that guy, right? So, and they're like, "Oh, man." I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. Just, get it over with and go." So they started talking about this goalkeeper that had killed himself after the World Cup. I guess he played for El Salvador. I don't know if you guys follow the World Cup, but if you follow it, it was back in, I believe it was 84. El Salvador lost like 11-1 or 10-1. It was like a massacre, right? They messed them up, and the goalie committed suicide. So they wanted to call this guy, and I told him, "Dude, we suck enough already. We don't need to call this loser." But I'm on the sidelines, right, Jeff? Right. I'm like, just telling him, like, just hurry up and do what you got to do, but don't call stupid shit like that. And especially like a goalie that got 10 goals scored on him. He's not going to be any help for us. So they called. They started chanting, and I didn't catch who they were channeling, right? They started just chanting, and you got your candle in the center. They got the Ouija board, and I opened a bottle of Coke with a buddy of mine that had stopped playing himself too. He just got up and told me, I'm done. So we're drinking a Coke each. We're sitting there watching them, and we're like whispering, like telling jokes, like, what do you think they're gonna do? Or something's gonna pull their legs or something like that. It's just gonna be hilarious. This and that. They're chanting, Jeff, and all of a sudden it was like, I don't know if you've seen like like a torch, like that shoots the flame, right?
Yeah.
Well, this little torch lighter type thing, like this flame shoots up. Well, that's pretty much what the candle did. I've never seen a candle do that. It was crazy. It was so crazy and fast, Jeff, that it was like 2 seconds. This thing, well, after it did the shots, like, the flame just shoots out, like up. And all of a sudden, it was like, poof, like the big flame, and the candle just disintegrated, like went down, and it was lights out. Like the apartment was in darkness. We couldn't turn on the lights. None of the light switch worked. One kid said something grabbed him. Tables went flying. The sofa went flying. There was nobody by the sofa. It was just chaos in that apartment. It's a tiny apartment, so shit's flying everywhere, like furniture going all over the place. These kids finally get the door through the apartment open, and they haul ass. About 10 minutes later, me trying to call them back to come pick up their shit and go. They're not coming back for the Ouija board. They're like, hell no, they're out in the street like, oh, what was that? Something grabbed me and this and that. They're just talking about crazy shit. And I was like, well, who fucked up the sofa? And I was like, there was nobody by the sofa, and it hit me. It was just crazy stuff. It was like total chaos, Jeff. I mean, now it's funny. Back then, it's still funny, but it still kind of like gives me like a little pause. I don't want to mess with that stuff. So the thing that happened afterwards, the lights came on. We finally got the lights off. The thing with the sofa, like one of the arms were completely ripped off. Like it got yanked off the sofa. It was flipped off on its side, right? The table was off towards where the sofas were. In the living room. It was just crazy stuff. It was like a tornado went through there. And furniture, I'm telling you, furniture was flying everywhere. It's just freaking, it was ridiculous. I don't know how anybody didn't get killed.
Right. With
stuff flying. And it's not like a light sofa. You know how they used to build sofas before? It was like they were kind of heavy.
300 pounds, 400 pounds.
Yeah, no, this one was, it wasn't that kind of heavy, but it was still heavy. It was up about over 100, 120, 150 pounds. That's just 100-something pounds flying where a bunch of 13, 14-year-olds, somebody's going to get hurt. Luckily, nobody got hurt. But anyway, I grabbed the Ouija board, I chuck it out and tell them, you guys didn't even tell this thing to fucking go. Go away, you right? And they're gone. Disappeared. They grabbed the Ouija board and hauled ass in their little bicycles and took off. My buddy and I started moving furniture around. Like the arm that was ripped off, we faced that arm towards the wall so my mom would notice. And my friends were like, luckily he stayed. He was scared. And he still stayed and helped me, put everything back together, rearrange the furniture. My older brother shows up. And my buddy said, all right, your brother's here. I'm leaving. I'm never coming back in this house again. I was like, all right, cool. So they come in, and he had a buddy. His buddy was the brother of the lady that had gone out with my mom to go watch the sports thing, whatever. Anyway, they come in. The dude tells us, hey, I'm going to stay here tonight. It's too late for me to go home right now, blah, blah, and dangerous at night. Okay, whatever. So he stays over. He used to like to write poems at night, right? So he's writing his poems. He's got like a candle with him, like a little candle while he's writing. I'm laying in bed, and he's got the radio on, and it's crazy because you know how they, here in the States, they'll tell you like at the tone, it's going to be midnight. It's the same thing down there. They tell you when the bell rings, it's going to be midnight.
Okay.
As soon as the bells rang on the radio, it was like somebody was trying to break in through the window, like beating the crap out of this window. And I jumped out of bed, like, what was that? Everybody heard it. Like, my brothers heard it. They jumped out of bed, and they're like, what is it? And I was like, I don't know. Somebody's in the backyard. It's not really like a backyard. It's almost like a 10 by 12 concrete, slab on the ground, about 15-foot high wall.
Okay.
With broken shards of glass up on top and barbed wire to keep people from breaking in. So we're looking at this thing when we went out to the yard, to the little patio, and we're looking up. We're like, well, there's nobody back here. Who did that? And we were like, I don't know. Back to bed. We go back to bed. 20 minutes later, it happens again. I couldn't sleep. I stayed up all night. It didn't happen again, but it was just that feeling, like that heavy feeling in the apartment. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like the atmosphere there is like molasses. They're like, what the hell is going on? This is just weird. You feel this presence, like, man. All right. So next day, I'm tasked with breakfast. So I'm cooking eggs, and we're gonna make like omelets for my brothers. Yes, I did know how to cook when I was young. Good mom. Thank you. So I'm making breakfast, and my brother jumps in the shower. Just like about 8:30, 9 in the morning. He's in the shower. He comes out screaming. Something grabbed him in the shower. I just grabbed him and yanked him, and he starts screaming, slipping, falling, tripping all over the place, runs out butt naked. Something grabbed him in the shower. He doesn't know what it was. And we're like, okay, whatever. What can we do? Nobody knew. But we can't do anything, right? So we're like, yeah, whatever. We're like, okay, cool. It's good to know. Everybody leaves. I head off to my grandma's house, and I didn't want to go back to the apartment, but I knew my mom was coming back like the following day, so I was like, man, I gotta go get the house ready, clean up the dishes and stuff like that. So I go back to the apartment. I try to turn on the lights, and the lights aren't working. So I figured, the breaker is probably off. Lights are off, like completely off. I hit the breaker, try to turn on the lights, and it's just like this feeling of this heaviness in the apartment. And I had to pee so bad. I was so scared. I went in the bathroom, but I had like one leg on the door. So, and I left my bicycle at the entrance, like laid down on the doors, just in case, it wouldn't close on me. But I didn't want to be trapped in there with whatever the hell was in there. And so I go in there and I pee, and like the door in the room starts slamming. And I didn't put it away, Jeff. I ran out just like I was, peeing and everything, straight out like a bat out of hell. Grabbed my bike, left the door open, ran outside with the bike, pushed it, got on it, and went to my grandma's. And she's like, what happened? And I was like, I'm going to stay here, Grandma. I'm not going back to the apartment. Oh, by myself, I'm not going there. She was like, okay. Next day, my mom's coming. So I wake up. Now I got to go clean up the mess, the pee all over the floor. Pee all over the floor. It's crazy stuff. Pee all over the floor. I got to mop everything, clean up, rearrange dishes. My mom shows up. My brother comes home. My little brother stayed at my grandma's house. So my mom's home, and she tells me right as soon as she comes in, she's like, what happened here? I'm like, what do you mean, Mom? Like, nothing happened. Everything looks the same. It's clean. She's like, no, it feels weird. I'll make it short. Okay, bedtime. I'm going to skip all the other stuff, just chatter. So it's bedtime. Since the lady came back with her, there's two beds in the room. So I'm sharing the bed with my mom. The ladies that came with her, she's using the other bed. And my older brother, he's in the living room on the sofa. Right? So my mom wakes up, tells me that there's somebody in the living room. I was like, yeah, it's your son. My brother, he's out there. He's sleeping there. He's like, no, there's somebody there. I just saw him right by the window. Your brother's on the sofa. This thing is standing right there. So I was like, oh. So I yelled out and called my brother. It's like, hey, is somebody by the window? And he's like, no, man, I'm trying to sleep. And I was like, okay, see, Mom, there's nobody there. About 10, 20 minutes later, same thing. She says, you hear something? There's somebody out there. I wake up, turn on the lights. There's nothing there. Went to the living room, turn on the lights. There's nothing there. Okay. There's a shadow now in the apartment. And, okay, she finally goes to bed. She wakes up, had a bad dream about the kid of her friend, right? Something about the kid being hurt. There's blood everywhere. So we get up and she goes and calls the house. The kid's fine. We get back to bed. There's blood on the sheets, on my mom's sheets, right? Like droplets of blood, right where her chest would be. I was like, Mom, you got a nosebleed or something? And she's like, no. I was like, well, okay, then give me the sheets. I grabbed the sheets, threw them in the hamper, and brought me the sheets. All right, back to bed, right? Okay, going back to sleep. The bed starts shaking. You know, like the whole exorcist thing.
Right.
The bed starts doing the Mexican hat dance. Just bouncing back up and down. I wake up. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I'm waking up my mom. She's not like responding. And this lady, you know, she's next to me. She wakes my mom up. She gets up and she's like, what's going on? Why are you guys on top of me? I was like, Mom, the bed was shaking. You didn't feel it? She was like, no, just let me go to sleep. And I was like, all right, everybody back to sleep. I'm guessing maybe half an hour later because I was tired, but still could fall asleep. So I'm sleeping and I get woken up again. Now the bed is like jumping. She's not tapping. You know how you hear like, oh, you hear the tapping like, people might say that, it's not leveled. So, you know, when you move, no, this thing was jumping up, down, like, you know, exorcist type stuff. I jump off the bed. My mom's got her eyes rolled up in the back of her head, and all you see is whites in the eyes. The lady's tripped out. And I asked her, oh, do you know how to pray? And she's like, no, I don't believe. I was like, you do what? I'm like, what? You don't believe in what? And she's like, I'm not Catholic. I don't believe in that. And I was like, oh my God. And I'd never been so scared where I couldn't even say the Lord's Prayer, Jeff. But that day, I could not remember anything. You know, back then I was Catholic, so, you know, not even the Hail Marys would come to mind. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking, what do I do? How do I stop this? My mom had some rosary beads. I grabbed them, and I'm like, oh, God's going to help me. So I grabbed my mom's hand. Jeff, you know, I'm grabbing my mom's hand. She's got them like clenched up on her chest, like both hands, like holding the sheets, and you can see like white knuckles in red. All right. So I grab her hand, and you know how like water boils? Yeah. You see those bubbles? That's what her skin's doing now. Like this stuff is like coming out of her hand, like her skin's bubbling. And I grabbed her hand, and the trippiest thing is, when I grabbed her hand, maybe it took 3 seconds. These bubbles started coming on my hand. So I just let her go. I was like, oh, hell no. I'm not touching it. No. I'm like, no. This is not happening. So I don't know what to do. I can't remember a single prayer. So all I did was like wrap her hands in the rosary beads. And I sat there and I was like, Lord Jesus, I can't remember a single prayer. But please help me. And all of a sudden, like, she wakes up. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, Mom, you wouldn't believe what just happened. And she's like, something happened. I was like, yeah, I know something happened. So she's telling me, like, no, something happened. What happened in this house? So, and I told her. And she wasn't happy at all. I think it was like maybe a week after that, we were out of there. Yeah, and that's the that one with the paranormal. And I guess hopefully I don't leave.
Your mom had this experience prior to where the little like
yes
creature was trying to kill her, and
Right.
then she had to deal with this like Ouija board. Did she ever tell you how she kind of knew that something happened there, or
She,
just
yeah, she told me that she could feel something in the house.
like some sort of presence?
Something wasn't right. Yeah,
Right.
something was right, and she was seeing the shadow thing.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm leaving like any other like ghostly things out, but no, I don't remember. Oh yeah, there's one more, but this is all. I'm already like I was like around 18 or 20, and this is funky. This is why I tell you that people don't believe. I didn't either, but I know now,
Right.
and that there is a creator and stuff like that. This kind of chokes me up sometimes when I talk about it. I don't really like telling it, but I'll tell you. I got in a relationship with this lady, right? I guess it was back when they had that thing in Kuwait.
Okay.
Because I remember that I was going to go sign up for the Marines, and they had told me that the sea landing thing, they were talking it on CNN and on the news. They were trying to do like a beach landing.
Okay.
And I was talking with the Marines at the time, and this stuff came out, and I was like, "Are you guys planning to actually do that stuff?" And they were like, don't worry. By the time you finish basic, all that stuff will be over. I was like, right. So I just told them, you know what? I'm gonna wait. This is over. I don't feel like dying in the beach in the middle of the desert somewhere. So okay. So that didn't happen. I didn't go to the first Gulf War. But I got into a relationship with this lady that her husband used to be in the National Guard. He was a Mexican citizen, but he was a resident, right? But he's still in the National Guard. You can still sign up when you're a resident. You just can't stay in for too long unless you become a citizen. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So he left. He abandoned them. It was her and her baby girl. We were in like this relationship, and this is weird stuff. It's like a point in my life where, I mean, back then I wasn't like a nice person. I was like 3 hairs away from being a monkey. Like seriously, just doing stupid stuff. So married women and stuff like that. To me, it was just fun and games back then. I got hooked up with this lady, and we had issues. Her husband called one day. He was like, "Oh, I stole his wife," and I thought, but that's neither here or there. I'm going to tell you the part where she ends up going back to Mexico with her daughter, meeting the guy, and this and that, and then comes back and tells me that no, that was after the incident. Okay, this is what happened. Okay, now we're going. She's about to go to Mexico in a couple of weeks. I come back from work, and this is back in California. I used to work for ITT Cannon back in the day in Santa Ana, California. That's the area. I'm not going to leave anything out today. I'm going to tell you guys everything. And she had gotten laid off, so she wasn't really going to work at the time. I was working. So the thing is, I come home. She had gone out. I don't know where she went that day, but I came home. But I was still at the time I was getting like that feeling like I need to like either end this or just find something else. Let's go somewhere else. Just forget about this girl because she's got issues. At the point where like discussing about her husband and stuff like that. So I was thinking about leaving. And, I come back home, and it's not like I was so overworked where, you put your head on the bed and you pass out, right? Nah, I wasn't like that. I wasn't tired at all. It was an easy day at work. I come home, I go to the room, and I'm sitting there not sitting yet. I'm standing, just looking around, what do I have here? What am I doing? What do I have here? I'm just wondering, right? And you just get to the bed and you just lay down and like throw your arms out and you just want to lay there and just look. And think about life, right?
Right.
So I'm on the process of my ass hit the bed before my back touches the bed and my head hits the pillow. Yes, it's trippy, Jeff. I get pulled out straight through the ceiling.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was like an alien abduction type scenario.
Right.
This crazy stuff. I'm like, I'm wide awake. You know, I lay down with my eyes open. I go right through the roof. Man,
Where did you end up?
I was floating in the sky, Jeff. I could look down.
Wow.
And, hold on. Oof.
And this is all before your time in the military?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay.
You need me to hit pause? Are you okay?
No, I'll try to push through.
All right, brother. If you need to take a break, just let me know.
All right. Oh, no. So I'm floating in the air. I don't know where the hell I'm at, but I can see, I can make out what's below. It's California. Right down there. Like, the beach not too far away. I'm in Santa Ana. I'm close to the Newport Beach. And stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, where am I? Why am I here? And this voice comes up and tells me, like, straight up, you know, like, I don't know, when you're a kid and your dad yelled at you, but not like a yell, but a really stern voice.
Yeah.
That's how it was. It was this booming voice just tells me, you have to leave this woman. And I'm stupid. I'm not a fucking retard, Jeff. I tell him, why am I going to leave her? I love her. I didn't really love her. And it was like, you will leave her or you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. And I was like, oh, okay. I'll do it. Okay. And all of a sudden, like, boom. Just like in the same motion when my butt hit the bed, but I get slammed on the bed. And I jump back up like somebody put chili pepper up my butthole. Holy mac. Dude, I was so scared. She still scares me. Okay, here comes the kicker. I'm thinking, what do I do? How do I leave this woman? And I was like, oh, fuck, I just gotta pick up and go. Well, now it gets difficult, Jeff. Now she gets home and tells me that she's pregnant. And I was like, yeah, it's over. It's done. And not in the sense where it's over, I'm leaving you knocked up with a kid. Yeah, no, not like that. I was like, my goose is cooked, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard. Oh. So, and at this time, that's when she starts telling me that she wants to go back with her husband. And I told her, well, it's the kid's mine, right? And she's like, yes, there's nobody else it's going to be. It's your kid. And I'm like, so we got to think on what we're doing. And she's like, well, what do you mean what we're doing? I go back to my husband and you go your way. And I was like, oh, hold up. You're going to have my kid with this guy that couldn't even stay with you when the war popped off. He was scared. He left you. He left everything behind. He left his own kid. Why would I allow you to take my child with this person? So she's like, well, it's either that or she'll have an abortion. And okay, I was like, well, what to do, Jeff?
Sure.
What to do?
You're kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place on that.
Yeah, exactly what the voice told me. I'm fucked. So, well, we decided that she wasn't gonna have it, and well, that happened, right? I mean, people say, "Oh man, you're tired, you're hallucinating, or maybe chemicals you work with, maybe you hallucinate." No, it's not like that. It's not like that. I'll tell you the second part. God, Jesus. So, months go by, and my brother at the time, he was gay, and he had AIDS back then. Pretty much, you had AIDS, you were gonna die.
Death sentence, yeah.
Yeah. So, we're at the point where he's in bed. He had come up with some weird stuff on his feet, so they had to burn him off, and that he was pretty much an invalid. He couldn't walk anymore because of the burns on his feet. And he was pretty much bedridden. He's on his last days. And I think like a week after this happened, what I'm going to tell you is when he passed away. So I go visit him because I was still living in Santa Ana, and he was living in North Hollywood. And I go visit. It was towards the time where they had the LA riots.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that. So, so we're going through this, and he tells me that he needs to talk to me, but he doesn't want Mom to be there. And I told him, what's wrong? Well, you got to tell me. Why can't she be here? And he tells me just that he just wants to talk to me in private, because he doesn't want, my mom to hear this. And I was like, okay, well, that's kind of weird. I mean, I never had any issues with my brother. I loved him to death. I mean, just wish he wasn't gay, but that's his choice. That was a choice he made.
Right.
But so my mom tells me he gets delirious sometimes, and it doesn't matter. He can't see me. He was already blind. He couldn't see her, and I told him, all right, George, Mom's not here. Go ahead and tell me what you got to tell him. He's like, are you sure she's not here? Because I don't want her to find out what happened. And I was like, what happened? I mean, between us, there isn't any issues like weird stuff that happened that she can't find out, like this family secret. Nothing like that. Damn. Hold up. And he tells me that this girl came in and told him that everything was okay. That she understood why I did it, and she forgave me. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are
you sure you're all right? We can take a break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So I broke down like a little baby, crying. I knew what the voice told me came true. So that was that one. So I don't believe. I know. Ooh, oh my goodness. Okay. So years later, no, I'm in Long Beach, California. That's the encounter I told you when I was driving a cab.
Yep.
This actually happened before I signed up for the military. I signed up in August of what year? 98.
Okay.
August of 98. That's when I signed up. So it was like a couple months, maybe July, June, around that time. Like I told you before, I was driving a cab in Long Beach. I had parked at the airport for the late flight. but I posted myself in it's not like towns because it's Lakewood, Long Beach, but there's like small town type things in between.
Or little hamlets.
Yeah, they have little hamlets. They got like, this is the city of whatever. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah. But anyway, so I posted myself there, and no, I wasn't getting a ride from the airport. There was like nobody coming out. I was like sixth, seventh, whatever, and on the spot waiting for a ride. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take the call. It's just down the road. I'll jump on the freeway and just pick them up and started driving. Whew, man, I started driving, and as I'm going down the road, I get the address. I check out. Okay, it's like a couple stops more. Well, about three stops, so about 3 miles off. I'm driving on the freeway. It's late. For some reason, it was kind of odd. There's like no traffic whatsoever coming on the return from, what was it, the 405 I told you? On the freeway. Yeah, I think it was the 405.
I think it was the 405. You said you couldn't remember if it was the 605 or the 405.
Yeah, I'm thinking more like the 405 because I was heading south.
Okay.
Towards I think it was Los Altos. It's right below Lakewood, but I mean Los Altos. Then you have like little city here, city there. But there's different names, little spots, little Salamitos, stuff like that. But they're all part of the Long Beach area, Lakewood, whatever. I'm heading south, but at the point where I'm going up, yeah, it's dark. I told you that. Like I said, this thing looked like a gorilla. It's crazy. This is nuts. This is like a gorilla running on the return lanes, jumps over the center divider, and cuts me off and goes straight into the bushes on the right-hand side. And I flipped out. I was like, "Whoa, was that?" You know, I was like, "Whoa, what was that?" I was like, it's not like I can keep my eye on whatever it is that's running next to me on the other side of the freeway. Because I'm driving, I don't want to it's just weird. There's like no traffic. I'm like the only car there. And like right before I exit, you can see lights coming over, like the cars are going north. I was like, why would it happen like to me, like at this point, at this moment, like, wow, what are the odds of that? So I called the dispatch. I was like, hey, do you guys know if like an animal escaped the zoo, or if there's a zoo here or a transfer or whatever? They're like, no, what did you see? And I told them, I think I just seen like this huge gorilla running on all fours across the freeway. And they're like, no, what time did you start working? And I was like, it was in the afternoon. It wasn't that late. I mean, it wasn't that early. It's not like I'd driven like, dude, it wasn't even like not even 8 hours that I had been out. And, as a cab driver, you're not driving around like a maniac. When you want to make money, you park.
Right.
And you pick up calls and you post like in hotels and stuff like that. Like, so you don't want to work for the cab. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just paying for gas.
Wasting your money and gas and making no money.
Exactly. So you just post it. I'm not like overexerting myself, running around like a maniac, driving like crazy. I'm sitting there just BSing most of the time. Making good money, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, that's neither here or there. So I seen this gorilla. They tell me, you know what? Maybe you've been driving for too long. Go to bed. And then log in tomorrow again. So I was like, you know what? That sounds like a crazy idea. I don't want to be out in the road with fucking giant gorillas running around. So I went home. I never saw anything again like that, like a gorilla. So yeah, that was the strange thing in California. Now I'm gonna go like really quick on the ghost first deployment in Iraq. First deployment, we were staying in one of I think it was Uday or Kuze, one of Saddam's sons.
Okay.
He had his own little compound palace type looking thing.
Yeah.
It was bombed out. Some areas were bombed out with like craters and stuff like that. And they had the Republican Guard barracks in the same compound where they had a kitchen, a bay where all the soldiers would sleep in, and it was something impressive, like crazy impressive looking, like great stuff. But bomb hit it, so they didn't have any toilets. Water kept shooting out of it and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm a mechanic, a tank mechanic, M1s, and at the time we were doing services. So we were doing like if it needs oil, we change the oil, change the batteries, filters, fuel filters, stuff like that, right? Mechanic stuff. Just keep death rolling, right?
Right.
So doing the surfaces for the batteries, doing all that. A buddy of mine, he was always telling me that he wanted to find Iraqi dog tags. Because I don't know why, because I had some. I told him, dude, I'll just give you some of mine. And he's like, no, man, I heard the tankers say they had like a bunch in the barracks. It was like a bay, like this deep building with all the beds. They were like bunk beds, the metal ones with the metal spring things on it. You just put like the shitty mattress on them.
Like a rolled out mattress, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. The roll up ones. It was just shitty beds, like all steel. And they're all flipped over, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They're on the side, so you got to hurdle stuff like to get through. It was just crazy. It was a total mess in there. And he's like, I want to go in there. And I was like, oh, man. Like, really? I'm like, let me finish here and then come back. And we'll go in there. He didn't want to go alone because he said that place freaked him out. And, like, everybody kept talking about, like, shadows and stuff in there. Like crazy stuff. It was just crazy. And I was like, shadows and stuff. And I kept thinking back of the Ouija board thing and the shadow guy and stuff like that. And like stories my mom would tell me about shadow people that she used to see. Just crazy things. And I started thinking like shadow, these guys, whatever. Okay, cool. So I'm working. I see him coming. I got a tool bag. So I didn't have to roll out like a big set of tools. So you just grab what you need and you put them in a bag and my weapon, because you had to be armed 24/7 anywhere you go around the compound. Right. You never know when, people break in. Or we had people break in and start blowing stuff up, and it's just crazy. It was craziness. But anywho, I'm sitting there. I got this tool bag that you sling on your shoulder. So I slung the tool bag, and my buddy, he's got his it was the M16 back then, like the big musket-looking M16, not the cool M4 everybody has now. But anyway, he's like, all right, man, let's go in. So I was like, all right, cool. So just dog tags? He's like, yeah, just dog tags. I'm like, are you sure you don't want mine? Because I got like 6 of them, and they're stupid looking. It's like a piece of tin or aluminum, and they scribble, because to me the writing looked like scribbling. Right. And like if you're writing it by hand on metal, now, if your writing is scribble already and you're going to scribble on metal with metal, it's going to look awful, right? You're not going to make out what it says. So I was like, I don't even know why you want that junk. I got some if you want them, they're yours. But he wanted his own. So we go in there. We get all the way to the end. You can walk right through and you'll see the where their toilets. They look like, those Japanese crappers. It's just like porcelain on the ground with a hole. Yeah. And there's water flowing like the whole time. Yeah, it was like that. But the water was flowing because there were no system to flush it. It kept flowing because the pipes were busted. So there's water flowing like 24/7. I guess, the Army's, way of thinking is like, fuck, we're not going to fix it. We're not using it. So water's just flowing out there. So I was like, yeah, okay. Well, it's water from the river. I don't know if it was the Tigers or the Euphrates, whatever. Either one. I don't know. We're like right in Baghdad, But yeah. So he's looking around, and I could hear him like, what the fuck? Sorry about the language. That people get offended, But anyway, he's like, what the? And then he tells me, hey, well, in the Army, we go by last names. And so he tells me, hey, Vega, Vega, I gotta go take a deuce. So, and he's just like trails off. I'm like, so what? He's like, so I'll be right back. Maybe 10 minutes. I was like, oh, so now I gotta find your stuff. And he's like, yeah, man, just if you find one, just bring it. And he takes off. Right? He bolted. Like, I never seen him move that fast, even when he was supposed to run for the PT test. He just hauls ass. Gone. I was like, wow, man, that was quick. And I'm looking, like peripheral vision, where the entrance to the bathroom area was, or exit of the bay is. That's where the bathrooms are, but they're kind of like on the outside. It was a separate building, and that's where the crappers and the urinals were. Like you walked about 8 feet, and you're on the other building, the restroom area. But you can see right through it. It's daytime, so it's sun's out. You can see everything. Sun's coming in through the holes in the wall, the windows. So it was lit up. It wasn't like I saw shadows. Didn't see shadows there. So I'm looking. I see something moving on my peripheral, like something like poked, like something pokes like in and then hides back again. And I'm like, what? What the hell? So I started talking like somebody else was there. I was like, Little, is that you? Well, his last name was Little. So I'm like, Little, is that you? And he's like, he's like, nothing, because he's not there. He's not back yet. I'm like, Little, you better answer, mother effer. We got live ammo here. It's not playing around. You know what they told us? If you see somebody come in, you shoot, and you ask questions later. You better answer. You friendly or foe? It's just trying to make it like funny for me, but I'm still kind of like nervous. Trying to like, so I was like, what the? I'm like, damn. Okay. Not cool at all. So I reach over. I say, well, this SOB is going to get vented, whoever it is. So I reach over to grab the grip of my M16. And guess what I grabbed, Jeff? A crescent wrench. So my dumb ass grabbed the tool bag, slung it, and left the M16 on the gun barrel of the tank.
Oh, no.
So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm done. Right? I'm toast. If this is a supposedly insurgent, he's probably got an AK with him. He crossed the river, got in, and now I'm done. So I look over, like it's not like peripheral anymore. It's more like almost not at, but towards it. And now I see, and it's like a person, Middle Eastern, not a long beard. It looked like it almost like it had been trimmed, and like a head just popped out. Something pokes out, and you can almost see like the shoulders come out and the head. And I'm like, oh my God. Hey, so I started talking like somebody else is there with me. So, because I'm in trouble now, man. I don't have a weapon. All I got is a tool bag with a bunch of tools. And I'm talking like a crazy person, like somebody else is there with me. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Next time he pokes out, I'm going to throw this wrench at him and then take off running. Hopefully, I'll knock him off balance and he doesn't shoot me or whatever. But I need to go grab my weapon. And I look over, and now when I'm looking straight at where that entrance is, it's not like a small door. It's like for a double door. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like a double door entrance. So it's wide. And I look at it, and this thing is like coming out. Like now it doesn't care. Like if I see him, this thing comes out, and all I can see is like the head. It almost looks like what, like in the zombie movies, like somebody just recently got bit. With the kind of palish, bluish kind of color.
Right.
And I'm like, what the? But there's no legs. Just the torso up, And from the torso down, you know, like when water ripples,
Right.
that's what it looks like sparkly water, ripply, just weird stuff. So, shit, I just grabbed that crescent wrench and chucked it like straight, man. If I would have been a baseball player, that would have been a beautiful strike, dude. Right down the middle. Nothing. It went right through it and hit the shitter on the back.
Wow.
And when I seen that thing go through, I about face, and man, I would have made the Bolt jealous, dude. And I did hurdles. I was jumping the bed bunks, you know, so they're sideways.
Yep.
On the side. So I'm jumping, hurdling stuff. I'm running out. I come out and fucking make a right turn straight to the tank where my M16's like right on the barrel of the gun. I grab it and I'm pointing it, like charged it and everything. I'm pointing it right at the door entrance. And here comes Little. And he's like, so, what happened? I'm like, what the hell do you mean what happened? There's something in there. And he's like, did you see it? I was like, did I see it? What do you mean did I see it? Did you see it? And he's like, yeah, it was weird. I thought I seen like somebody was poking their head through. And I'm like, dude, are you serious? He's like, dude, I was so scared. I didn't know what to do when I just left. He's like, and really, I really did have to shit. Like, it scared him so much that he just had to shit. He was about to shit himself. I'm like, dude, and you left me there? And he's like, well, probably a ghost, so I didn't think it was going to do anything to you. And I'm like, dude, are you freaking shitting me? And unluckily, like a couple of years ago? Well, I was still in Texas, so I'm going to say about 3-4 years ago, he committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Sorry,
He's a good friend. I mean, you know how it is in the Army. We're all good friends until we leave. Then we don't talk to each other forever. Then somebody kills themselves, then everybody's regretting not being in touch with each other. So, yeah, that's the military camaraderie for you.
Right.
So, okay, so that happened. So we go back to, I skipped the Germany ghost. This is creepy. But before I went to Iraq, I had just gotten there in 2000 and it was 2001, October. I just got into Germany because I already knew the guys in Germany were going to get deployed to Iraq. So that was part of my enlistment from Texas. If I didn't get re-enlisted, I was leaving the Army if I didn't get Germany, right? So, cool. I got Germany, then deployed to Iraq. But in Germany, we're in Baumholder, by the way. And just if FYI, there was a guy there that if you look around, Jeffrey Dahmer was stationed there. So we found his medical records.
Okay.
And we were cleaning out the aid station, and we found Jeffrey Dahmer's medical records there. But anyway, he wasn't the ghost I saw. But luckily, because he would have ate me. But anyway, I get to Germany. I'm watching Band of Brothers. It was hot back then, you know.
Yeah.
And a couple of guys, we were like, we just got in there. We had been like in there within a week. It was like a group of 4 that we arrived to Germany. Within that week, we arrived. The unit was out in the field, getting ready and stuff like that. And so we're stuck there. We don't have anything to do, really. Just show up to formations and stuff like that. And then police call, like go pick up cigarette butts, stuff like that. Just Army stuff, you know, busy. And so I'm watching Band of Brothers. The guys come over and they're like, "Hey, you want to go to a bar? We can go to a bar." They told us that as long as we make formation in the morning, we're good in the evening. So I was like, all right, cool. So I take a shower, get ready. I'm in somebody else's room, by the way, so I can't like touch their stuff. I can watch the TV, and that's pretty much it. And I opened the door, and I had told them that, you know, when they're done, to come down and get me. So I'm the one on the bottom floor. The other guys were on the second floor. So second or third, I think Will was a guy in the third floor. I can't remember, but I know there was a guy on the second floor, or both of them. Can't remember. But I hear like boots. The door's open. I hear boots. I'm watching Band of Brothers, just chilling. Nowadays I think maybe you hallucinated, but no, it happened 2 times. So I'm sitting there watching Band of Brothers, and I tell him, "Come in, man." And I look over, and there's nobody there. I was like, "That's weird. I heard boots like right there." And I come out, and there's like a public phone where people get phone cards and they call home from there. And there's nothing there, just a little phone on the side, the beer vending machine. Check that shit out. Germany, awesome. They had vending machines for beer in the barracks. It was great. I love Germany. But anyway, nobody there. I was like kind of tripping. I was like, man, there's some loud boots. How can somebody be gone? There's nobody here. Like, there's me on the bottom floor. And I think the other 2 guys, there's either one on the second floor, one on the third, or both on the second. But I know they were up above me. That's weird. So I sit back down, and I was like, that's really weird. So I hear the boots again. I'm going to make this quick. I see this gray thing with black boots by the door. I'm looking over. I'm watching Band of Brothers. So I'm looking at like a German soldier, and I'm thinking like, is this guy serious? Just laughing. I was like, this is crazy. Why is this guy dressed up in a German outfit right by the door? And I get up and like walk towards the door. I was like, where did you go? And I popped my head out and I was like, the what? There's nobody there. This dude was just there, the helmet and everything.
Like old school German?
Like a soldier German, ready to go to war. No rifle though, but he had the boots, the helmet, and the gray uniform.
Wow.
And I was like, what? So I was like, no, this is something else. So I started running upstairs, found the dude's room. I knock on it. He's like, oh, sorry, man, I passed out. And I was like, who's been walking downstairs? He's like, I don't know. So we both go upstairs to find the other guy. He's up there. He's pre-gaming, right? Drinking his wild turkey before we go out to the bar, so he doesn't spend that much money. So I'm like, you weren't downstairs, right? He's got like cowboy boots and like a Confederate buckle. This is crazy stuff. So I was like, you weren't downstairs, were you? Because he's like, no. Why would I be downstairs? I was like, I don't know. Well, okay, cool. Let's go. So let's go to the bar, right? And a couple of days later, one of the guys told me, dude, something's freaky down here. Something scared me. I heard somebody walking in the laundry room. The laundry room was in like the basement of the building. It's like thick stone, concrete, like, they build them buildings like bunkers, right?
Right.
So at the far end, if you look at the wall, it's painted like that tan color, the army likes to cover stuff up. But you could tell on the not the brick, but the block, you could tell there's like a swastika imprinted on the actual brick, the wall, the stone masonry thing that they did
in there.
Yeah, it's not like carved. It's like an outline of the stone outlaid. I don't know how to say, like out sticking out just a little.
Okay.
But even if you paint it, you can still make it out.
Right.
If you're up close to it, you can't see it because all you see is the color of the wall. But if you back up,
you can see it. Yeah.
You could see it. It's like right there. And I was like, what? Some Nazi barracks? So I was like,
that's crazy.
I know, and I was like, this is all crazy stuff.
I don't mean to cut you off really quick, but
yeah.
I got about 3 minutes of record time left.
Okay, well, we can
you want to do a part 2 of this?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
I could do it because I still got to tell you redo the Iraq thing with the Chimera.
Yeah, I'd love to redo that now that we've got some better clarity with us.
Right.
Yeah, because I literally only have about 70 minutes of record time, and we're about 68 minutes in.
I know. So, sorry about
No. It's you're fine.
It's a lifetime of stuff, and there's probably stuff that's happened that's it's probably forgotten and gone on with the wayside, and then with the mortars and stuff in my head, it's just gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, before we run out of time, I just want to thank you for coming back on.
Okay.
I do want to set up for a part 2. So maybe tomorrow you and I can touch bases again, get part 2 done,
Yeah.
and that way people can rehear the Chimera and whatever else you've got after that.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry about getting sentimental and stuff.
No,
guys,
man.
but,
No,
I mean,
it was fine. It was fine. I'm sorry that
Yeah.
you had to go through all of that, and I appreciate you pushing through and sharing it with us.
Yeah, that's fine. Appreciate it, man.
Do me a
And,
favor.
yeah.
Don't hang up when we let go, because I'm
Okay.
gonna run out of time right now. So it was good having you on, my friend.
Awesome. I'm here for you, man.
We just heard his paranormal experiences. Now let's jump into his Chimera experience in the middle of the Iraqi desert. Tonight I have a guest, and his name is Lewis. He is an Iraqi war vet. It's a pleasure having you on, Lewis. How are you?
Thanks, Jeff. All right, well, this happened in Iraq around 07. It was outside the city of Ramadi in a camp. I won't give you the camp's name. There's different ones, so we'll keep that private. The day that this happened, we were supposed to go on a raid. It's on this town, I guess, supposed as insurgents activity and stuff like that. So the next morning we had to have the full attack force tanks, M1s, Bradleys, Black Hawks, Apaches, all that stuff. On the way to the staging area, which is outside the town, the little town. It's not even really a town, just a bunch of mud huts. And we were supposed to stage outside the area where there were some canals. In Iraq, they got these canals they use for irrigation. They're pretty deep. I mean, if you fell in there, good luck, because they are pretty deep. I mean, the water's pretty much not that deep, but they're down there. There's a lot of marsh. It's like a marsh, but tall grass, and it drops about maybe 6, 7, 8 feet, somewhere deeper. There's like a little bridge made out of sand over a large, say like a pipe, but it's not really a pipe. It's really big. You pretty much can go in there just so the water can flow from one side to the other, and they usually so they can cross. Vehicles go through. They're wide enough for an M1 tank to go by, and they still have about 2, 3 feet on either side when the tank crosses. We were supposed to stage on the other side of the canal, but to our misfortune, one of the tanks threw track. Usually when they throw track is on the outside and the track just comes off. This one threw it on the inside, so it jammed up. So now we got to cut the track. So with the pressure it has, it won't come loose. So you got to cut the track, take the links off, and then the tanks would put it back together. I was the TC of the 88 M1 Herc, and our first sergeant told me that after we had already fixed the tank, that I was going to be the sergeant of the guard. So what that entails is that pretty much I have to make sure that the guys that are staged in a semicircle are up. At least 2 guys up the vehicle, make sure they're awake so we don't get ambushed at night or whatever. You don't want to get ambushed when you're going to go on a raid. It's a big no-no. So all I had to do was to just go around and make sure everybody had people awake, eyes out, make sure you're ready for pretty much anything. So this particular night was very interesting because as I'm walking towards, let me explain how the medic track ended up on the other side of the canal. There's a drop, like an incline going down maybe about 10 feet. So if you're standing at the bottom, you can't see on the other side. You're pretty much looking up. where the medic track was a 113. Ended up on the other side of the canal. The 88 was maybe about 30 yards back, but you could see from the top where they have the 50 cal mounted. You could see the top of the 113. And as I'm walking toward there after I'd done one of the rounds, I get to the edge where it starts to decline. It starts going down. And then the hill goes up about 4 feet, and the 113 was on the other side. Now, this is the canal crossing where I'm going to start heading down. As I'm coming right at the edge, this thing comes out from the marshy area, like the grass. There wasn't much movement, but you see something come out. It's dark. I got my night vision on, one eye closed, because you got to keep night vision in case you got to pull that thing up. And so you can still see, because that green light will blind you if you lose all your night vision. You got to keep one eye closed. So I'm looking at this thing that's coming out, and it's a comparison to a lion. It was way bigger than a lion. I don't know. I've never seen a lion that's 10 foot long, or maybe more, because it's pretty much encompassed almost the whole crossing. It was big. It was big, tall. But even though it was tall, maybe about 4 feet tall, he was still in this position where, like, you see a cat and he's creeping and he's going to pounce on something. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you guys know. They're crouched down, like, really low. Their elbows are by their back and they're still moving. Well, he's doing this. And I figured, shit, this thing's going to hit the medic track or attack it or whatever the hell this thing's doing. And he's looking at it as he's coming out. And it's long. And when I say it's a cat-like, well, cat-like, like a cat, but not. The reason I say that is pretty much everybody knows cats' tails, the way they move, may seem like this movement of a snake. Well, this thing, its tail, it's more like a snake, but it's having the same movement, but he's got it upwards, almost like a scorpion tail. And not a scorpion tail, because on the tip of the tail, it's got this weird-looking head, like a snake head. And it's moving on its, I'm not going to say on its own, because you know how cats move, the movement they do, but this thing, I mean, it's a head. It's not bushy. And I couldn't tell if it was bushy because night vision, the thing's about 20 yards from me, maybe 15 to 20 yards. But it has its own movement, like the tip moves like a head looking around. This thing comes out, looks towards the 113. And, I mean, I don't know what it is, so I'm like, what the fuck is that? Or what is that language? But that's what I said. And this thing turns around, looks at me, and he's pretty much about as shocked as I was, because now he knows somebody's seen him. It seemed like he was disappointed that I was there. Or, I don't know. It was just a weird situation. He looks at me, he starts going round and round. You know, cats are locked up from one side to the other, like a caged jaguar or panther, from one side to the other. But he's looking at me and he looks to the ground, and at the same time, his tail is pretty much doing the same thing, like looking towards me. And, well, I got my M4. I'm still wearing my full battle rattle helmet, bulletproof plates on and everything. But I'm thinking, as I'm looking at this creature, I'm not going to say it's an animal as far as the animals go, because animals don't look that way. I'm thinking this SOB is going to get me. If I start shooting, if the 88 behind me, he's got the 50 cal, not towards where the 113 is, but that's at the limit where the his range limit to fire is pretty much. So if I start shooting, they're going to shoot this way, especially if they see this thing on me or whatever. So they're pretty much screwed. And I'm stuck there just looking at this thing. And, well, at that moment, I was pretty much screwed. I couldn't see the medics in the back of the 113. I'm guessing either they were down or probably asleep, most likely. I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but those motherfuckers were asleep. And so I'm like, okay, well, this pretty much, that's it. This thing's going to fucking eat me. But right before anything happened, once he turned towards me, now, when he turned towards me, his tail wasn't wagging anymore. It was more set up like a scorpion towards me. I didn't tell you that, Jeff, said about that. Yeah, but when he faced me, his tail was towards me, and it wasn't moving anymore. He was pretty much ready to do business, I'm guessing. The only thing that came to my lips at the time, I was pretty much, I'm going to meet the Lord now. So I'm like, holy Jesus, please help me. At that moment, I'm guessing the creature didn't like that. When I said, holy Jesus, please help me, because he looked kind of upset, and you could hear like a low growl. And he turned towards the marsh, looked at it, looked at me, and then went back in it. Well, to my bad luck, I guess, I still have to go see the medics. So now I got to go towards where this creature was. So, you got to man up, right? So, fuck it. Just make sure I'm creeping slow, pointing my weapon towards where the marsh is, the little marshy area. I get to the medic track, I knock 2 up, nobody answers. I go towards the front, climb up on top, and they're out. So I get up there and start bitching them out. It's not a situation where you're just gonna. It's not like we're going camping. So you shoot the shit, go to sleep. The next day we go for the hunt. It's not like that. You stay awake. It's pretty much one guy with a knife will be taking those guys out. So I get back down. I head towards where the Humvee is. Up armored Humvee. That's the command vehicle. First sergeant's in there. I didn't want to sound like a nutcase. So before I went to the Humvee, I told the medic, keep an eye out for dogs. What am I going to tell them? So, and people, something out there that could hurt them or hurt us, anyone. So I left them. They were going to stay up now. And headed over to where the Humvee was. I talked to the guy that's on the Humvee on the Crow system. And I asked him to keep an eye towards the little marshy area because I had seen some type of animal. I told one of those dogs, what am I going to tell him? I think dog control was, if he sees a blotch of heat, he can shoot, hopefully take him out with the 50. But, yeah, then, like I said, my misfortune, I was sergeant of the guard, so I still have to continue roving. I was hoping that was it. It was like just a chance encounter. Seeing the thing, it's gone. A few weeks later, you forget it even happened. Walked over to the 88 after going around the tanks and letting them know to keep their heads up. They're watching on their own system. They got the night vision and infrared, whatever, keep sensing systems we got. They also have this stare, which if something's crawling towards you at night and you can't see, all you see is the heat signatures, even though It might be camouflage somewhere where they can hide it. It'll still leave a trail on your screen that something is moving out there. So I was good with that. I was like, all right, these guys are good over here. So I headed over to the 88, and I told the guy on the 50 to keep an extra eye out over to where I was going. If something happens, to wait until I get out of the way if he's got a fire. Right? So I figured, I'll give a chance to maybe this thing will attack me. He'll jump up. Hopefully I can move fast enough, shoot, and the 50 cal can take him out. Still didn't tell the guy what the hell I saw, or I just told him to keep an eye out there because it was weird. Those are my words. It was weird. Just keep an eye out there. So I headed back again as I come over to the area. You better start going down. It was weird because it was just meant to be. We made up again. This time I had already taken a couple of steps down. The creature comes up. He seen me, and I said, "What the fuck again?" And you could tell, like, I don't know, animals disappointed or something that he got seen. He did his couple of turns and jumped back into the marshy area, and that's the last time I saw him. I thought it was just going to be that one time, but no, he let me know that he was there. It was yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, that's definitely. Now, when you and I first started talking, you had shared with me that you have seen, while you were in Iraq, you had seen, a full-grown male lion. And
yes.
So how big lions are. And this thing was huge. I mean, this creature that you saw in the canal was just...
Oh, it was maybe about 2.5 times as long, taller than the lion.
Yeah.
The lion standing on all fours. Yeah, he was taller than that.
So
he was way taller.
This was definitely,
but I mean,
like 12 feet long, maybe 11 feet long.
About 11 feet long, not counting the tail, or the tail snake, whatever the frick that was.
Now, the face of the creature, because you refer to it as cat-like, because the reason why you refer to it as cat-like, just so other people know, is because of its crouching position, more or less, right? What was the face, not the face on the tail, but the face on the part that was looking at you, where you could see its eyes?
This hood. Well, I'm not going to be politically correct when I say this, but it looked like a retarded cat. Kind of like a mushed up head. The mouth was wider than it was long. I mean, I could see his eyes. I know his eyes glowed. They glowed. I could see the eyes with the NVGs when I raised it up to take a look. I mean, the sighting, it wasn't like a couple of seconds. We were there for a few minutes. I had enough time to raise my night vision, open my the eye that I keep closed so I can have night vision, and I could still see his eyes. No, I can't say there was a moon out, and if it was like way on the horizon. So that it wasn't the glare of the moon or any light, because we have no lights. I wasn't walking around, not even with the red flashlight. Just the night vision. That was it.
Right. So that was my next question. That was my next question for you was there any light? And you just answered it. So this creature's eyes were obviously a glowing yellow color.
Yeah.
And
They were big. They were big. They were about maybe a little bit bigger than the golf ball.
Okay. Now the face or the head on the tail. Was there any characteristics on that you saw, or
Yeah, yeah, it was like a snake.
like a snake?
It opened. It had a mouth. Now the like a what was I say? Not like, can't really tell if it had fangs or not, but it had a mouth. It opened it.
That's crazy. Now these are, you and I had spoke for, well, we talked for about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And this is just one of the crazy cryptid, I hate using the word monster, but that have been seen in the Middle East. And, like you said to me earlier, there's a lot of area to hide there because it's not like here. It's the population is spread out. There's a lot of caves, there's a lot of mountains, there's just terrain that we don't have over here.
Yeah, they can go for miles. If they move at night, you're not gonna see them.
Yeah,
you're not gonna see them. I mean, and I'm guessing they're fast. This thing was big. I mean, it wasn't skinny, like gangly or skinny like a house cat.
right.
No, it was a good killing machine if it wanted to.
Yeah, that's definitely right there is a definite strange sighting, and not what I thought it was going to be. Like
when after I seen it, I had try to go and look around to see cat-like creatures, and the only thing I came up with was a chimera, which the picture they have on Yahoo, well, they got a bunch of them, but the one that's closest to it is one that has the they put horns on this thing, but I didn't see any horns. There's a picture of one that's got like these talons on the feet. I can't say I saw talons, and then if it did have talons, I couldn't see them because of the sand. The sand is soft over that crossing. It's like powdery. So we could have dug I didn't see the feet. Like exactly, I didn't see the feet. I can't tell if they had claws. There was more the head and the tail. On Yahoo, they got a picture of one that looks almost like a lion with horns, and it got like a viper's tail. That's pretty much what I saw.
Yeah. I just looked it up really quick, and it's called the Chimera of Arizoa or Arazo, and it's like a big, huge lion.
Looks like a cat.
Yeah, huge lion-like creature with a viperistic looking tail. Very terrifying looking. Huh. Wow.
I mean, I used to joke around with people that saw Bigfoot, but holy shit. What did I see?
Yeah, definitely. Something.
I mean, it's weirder than Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, two heads are better than one for killing, I guess.
Yeah, while you're distracted with one head, the snake head will poison the crap out of you, and those talons will rip you to shreds. Bring on the Dogman, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
I mean, these things are crazy looking. Whew.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing this with us. Couple of things, Lewis. Thank you for your service to our country.
Well, thank you.
I mean,
it's not over though.
No, it's not. And thank you for coming on tonight and sharing this encounter. I really enjoyed just shooting the breeze with you, and then hearing this crazy encounter. I mean, I can't imagine what you must have been feeling like or thinking in your head.
Yeah, it felt like makes you feel like Jello.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if there was another guy with an AK, yeah, I've been flying. I mean, yeah, you might get me, I might get him. This thing, he's gonna get you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Lewis, is there anything that you'd like to say to the audience before we end the upload?
Yeah, I got a short message. You know, guys, a lot of people see different things out there. Some people might think they're crazy, they're making it up. I was one of them. After I saw that, anything that people say is out there could be out there. What I saw, that's some fairy tale stuff. But they're there. They're out there. What else can be out there? I mean, a Dogman? That's not that far-fetched. Bigfoot? Definitely not.
Right.
If these things are out there, and if that Kandahar giant is real, what else is out there? I mean, if we don't get our heads out of our booties, we're going to be in trouble when they decide to come out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it might be sooner than later, and hopefully it's not, but who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
They got free reign. They can go wherever they want. I mean, there's caves. In caves, you can go across continents.
Yeah.
They can nonstop. They can come out of anywhere they want.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. It's a tale, I'll tell you.
No
and
pun intended.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no pun intended with the tail. Hey, I appreciate it, Jeff. I love your show. It's creepy, but things are out there, man. Appreciate you.
And there you have it, folks. I hope you all enjoyed today's upload as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'd like to thank you all for supporting the channel. It is, after all, your support that keeps this channel growing and going, and what gives us all a place and a chance to share our experiences and theories judgment-free. Everyone is simply treated with the respect that we deserve. Stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and our friends. These creatures are real. These events have happened. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions. Never stop searching for the truth, and God bless you all.